The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
Wow, it is a beautiful, and it's not Thursday, it's Wednesday, May 9th. It is School Nurse Day, and hope you didn't have Nurse Ratchet as your school nurse. I was always, just before I started the show, I asked once somebody in here if they knew who Nurse Ratchet was. I hope that the reference didn't go too far. Because I guess now, in fact, my nephew has never seen Jaws. I feel that it's almost a crime. How could you have not seen Jaws? How could you not know? I guess if you're old enough, he's 30. So my nephew's not, or 28, he's not young. But just how could you not see Jaws, or how could you not, I'm pretty sure he saw Star Wars, but I'm thinking that how could you not know who Nurse Ratchet is? That's got to see that movie. And, of course, I read the book very early on. I think I was only 15 or 18 when I read the book. And I think it came out by a guy who was Kinsey, 1963, about the way things are in the mental health facilities. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the book actually changed a lot about the way patients were treated in the mental health facilities. But it is School Nurse Day. Back when I was in school, I think they could give you about anything. Now they probably throw a nurse in jail for giving you a aspirin. But just an interesting day. We've got an absolute ton of IPOs out here coming this week. Some of them have been canceled, so I'm going to sail through these quickly because I haven't had a chance with the market really whipsawing around to get to them. Audience is ADNC, is a fabulous designer of audio chips for the iPhone and other mobile devices. They plan to raise about $79 million by offering 5.3 million shares at a price range of 14 to 16. ADNC is going to be their ticker. I think most of these are scheduled for tomorrow. Community Choice Financial, CCFI, provides payday loans and check cashing services, that kind of stuff. They're looking to raise $117 million, offering 10.7 million shares at a price range of $10 to $12. Most of these don't really get me started. Customer Bank Corp, CUBI, is a bank holding company with 14 branches in the eastern Pennsylvania area. Plans to raise $100 million by offering 7.1 million shares at a price range of $13 to $15 a share. CUBI, Edwards Group, which makes vacuum and abatement systems for semiconductors. EVAC is going to be their symbol. $150 million, 12.5 million shares, $11 to $13. Ignite Restaurant Group operates the Joe's Crab Shack and Brick House Tavern. I don't think I've been in a Brick House Tavern, but they're going to. Most of these are pretty small IPOs. $75 million, offering 5.8 million shares at $12 to $14. We've got Link Logistics, LLGX, offers supply chain logistics. Wants to raise $170 million by offering 11.3 million shares at a price range of $14 to $16. Loyalty and Alliance Enterprise, LAEC, is a provider of mobile direct marketing and customer loyalty solutions in China. They plan to raise $66 million by offering 5.1 million shares, a price range $12 to $14. Some of these may have actually come out. I think most of them are for tomorrow. New Source Energy, NSE, which owns an interest in oil and natural gas properties in eastern Oklahoma, plans to raise $100 million by offering 9.1 million shares at a price of $10 to $12. One of them that got cut and might try to be refiled, know that it's going to be weak, is Ribex Pharmaceuticals. It's a biotech developing antibiotics for serious hospital and community infections. Basically, they're trying to come up with some stuff to kill those really resistant bugs. They wanted $75 million by offering 5.8 million shares at 12 to 14. But just in the last couple of hours, I think they cut the price 50% and still had nobody. So they were going to come out about $6 to $7. Watch for this. Normally, when these things are this bad, they try to come back like a bad rash. TIM, symbol's going to be TMWE. It's kind of interesting. Mobile marketing, entertainment, and payment services in Latin America. 75 million, 13.7 million shares at $5 to $6. And WageWorks, WAGE, on-demand provider of employee spending account benefits programs, plans to raise $72 million by offering 6.5 million shares at a price range of $10 to $12. Pretty much at the midpoint. This one kind of actually interested me a little, but not that much. So we're going to sail through these. We've got a lot of movement out here. S&P's 1357, just off 6 now. NASDAQ's off about just a little less than 10. We're going to watch this end the volume as we come through. Got a lot moving on out here. I was pretty sure that we were going to have yet again another test, of course, by the futures this morning. But I'm really kind of surprised that the blame is being laid on Spain. I think that story's been out there for a while. We'll get into that a little bit more. Microsoft is going to offer a $99 Xbox, and that is with a kinetic sensor on it. So you'll be able to play the games. They're going to put a subscription on it, and I suspect that part of that subscription is going to be an addition of Skype. They're trying to kick this out before their Xbox 720 comes out, and that's going to be somewhere around October. But you're going to end up paying about $75 more over 2 years. Maybe they're going after the low end of the market. I think they're trying to get a few of these kicked out, the last of them, before the end of the year, and their marketing effort on the Xbox 720 comes out. I don't know how many of those people, once they know the 720 is coming out, are going to be very happy about paying for the next 2 years on a subscription basis, but it's hard to say. Microsoft pretty much got everything coming out in the fall. They'll be firing on all engines. Morgan Stanley poll was kind of interesting. I saw some results out of that. This came out on Monday. 58% of respondents think unemployment will be higher than 8% at the end of the year. And this is floor traders, a lot of people in the industry. 5% of the respondents see Chinese GDP growth coming in between 7.5% and 8%. Not many people must have replied to that. 74% of the investors are dollar bulls. So probably not too many people out there that aren't in the King Dollar camp. King Dollar is up 38 cents. I can see it. $80.23. Had a nice little move out here. Probably part of the weakness in the market. 1356.73 right now on the S&P. So we'll be continuing to watch it. As always, you can give me a call, 877-927-6648. We'll discuss what you want to discuss. One of the other things has come out is there's a company called Bespoke. They're coming out with a lot of market polls also, but other information. Kind of a neat website. If you need the link, if you're not watching Tiger TV, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com, and we'll be glad to send you something. Anyway, probably the biggest difference is last week we had about a 50-50 poll, again back to traders, and so basically half people thought the market was going up and half of them thought it was going down in a month. So not such a short-term trade. Big change over last Monday when we had 63.37. So from the previous couple of weeks, we've really noticed the bullishness come off the rose. But it's just kind of interesting to know what your compatriots are thinking. One of the last things, and I knew Apple was going to be up. I put it in my newsletter this morning. Apple, instead of releasing in one new company, which was going to be Brazil, which was going to be Brazil this weekend, is going to be rolling out in 30 countries about 6 weeks earlier. A lot of people think that the analysts over the next couple of days will start moving the numbers up on Apple once they know they're good 6 weeks earlier, with countries having, I think I saw it earlier, which was something like a little over 1.2 billion people that didn't have a iPad localized to their language and everything else actually rolling out in their country. A lot of these places, like Brazil, probably have a finite amount of people that could probably buy an iPad, but 800 million people, still a huge market, and they haven't rolled out in China yet. So continue to watch that. We'll be watching the volume here. It will be, in fact, after this weekend, it will be available in 87 countries, just to let you know. I was talking to somebody in the office earlier this week. They were watching something on video, and it was lagging like about 3 minutes. And one of the things was it's a known problem. I've talked about it a couple of times for technology. But just all the video that we're streaming on the website, the interruptions are caused by buffer bloat. And that's actually a huge amount of problems with people continuing to add memory to buffer video streams, and they continue on. And sometimes they put more routers back to routers, and it makes the lag go even more. The best example I heard about this is a gas can with no vent, and you're trying to pour the water or the gas out of a gas can, and it just kind of glugs. It's a well-known problem. Well, the Internet, because of buffer bloat, is about 15% slower than it was just a year ago. Everybody continues to add more and more memory. And there is finally a solution from the PARC. And if you don't know what PARC is, it's the part of Xerox that came up with a great answer to desktop interfaces and the laser printer and everything we probably pretty much use today, but Xerox never capitalized on it. Everybody wandered on over there. Microsoft, Apple saw the cool things they were designing, and there's where the Mac came from. Anyway, it's a big deal, but there's finally an answer. Look for a lot of new sales. Cisco, router manufacturers. I can see that within a year this is probably going to be mandatory. Anyway, just to let you know, probably a good year and a half out in the router community.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's just wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
you take a hands-on approach to managing your investments. And whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we continue to watch the market, fading just a little bit down, at 7.5 or something like that. Not a lot going on, maybe down 8 on the S&Ps. We're going to go through some of the stocks fairly quick. I do a scan every night of about 5,000 stocks in the marketplace, the EFTs, stuff like that. What I'm looking for is tests of lows on lighter volume. I'm looking for the last leg compared to the last leg up to significantly change on the volume down. And why the volume down hasn't been that different than the volume up. Certainly what we've had is a absolute ton of tests at the lows. And we're going to take a look at some of these here today. You can give me a ring at 877-927-6648. And let's see what we have going on here. Got to get a few things cleaned up. Hopefully you're watching on Tiger TV. We've got some of these actually testing on fairly light volume. Probably the least of the bunch, although it looks fairly good. I would have liked to seen the volume come down on just a little lower. Is AK Steel, AKS, had a 7.5 million share low on March 7th. And got into it with 6.3 million shares, but closed right back above it. Going to probably have a similar closeout here today. The volume's just a little bit bigger as we go up. not that I'm going to invest in this, but it is kind of nice to see stocks out here that are kind of hitting a bottom, and we're not seeing a lot of that kind of, what can I say, huge selling pressure as we come down here. It's kind of, we've had a couple of down days here. Volume has not been all that exciting. We've got, let me update it here. I think last time I checked was 3.3 billion shares. So we're probably going to come in with about 4 billion, 4.1. Actually, a little bit of pickup compared to it, but I think all the yelling and screaming has driven the volume. I think more important now than the volume at the end of the day is going to be how the S&P actually closes. And, if we get about 1365, something like that, should be a nice short squeeze, at least for a few days. And I actually suspect that the market is heading up, and at least through expiration. Today is the last day, or the first day, of expiration, in that most of the option market makers actually go delta neutral on a day like this. Delta neutral just means that they make sure that they have as much on one side as the other, just like a bookie would always have as many bets on one side as another, and the way he does that is change the spread out there in a football game to make sure that they actually get enough of that. Anyway, we do have a phone caller, and I want to thank Barb calling, UBNT, and she is from Seattle. How are you doing today, Barb?
Just fine, thank you.
And you called last week about UBNT, right?
Yeah, and it went down quite a ways, and now it's starting to go back up. I'm wondering how far it'll go.
Well, the first thing we need to do is look at the chart here, and I'm going to say that while you might have a little bounce out of here, you're going to certainly, I would say 80% chance you're going to get a nice little opportunity to buy this thing yet again. You had what I like to term as a selling climax, and that was yesterday on it. The volume wasn't all that big, but it certainly was larger than the last time we were down here. $23.33, 450,000 shares on March 6th. You got in that yesterday with 950,000 shares, so about twice. Cardinal rule is don't buy lows on higher volume. So what you probably have is a nice little opportunity. We'll let this thing start bouncing around here and let some of the energy out. Like if you took a rubber ball, you throw it up. It doesn't just bounce once, it bounces several times, each time bouncing a little less high. And eventually that energy is all going to be out of it. And you know that it's just a matter of time before the thing quits bouncing, right?
Right.
Okay. What you don't have today is a lot of volume up. What is it right now? 600,000 shares or so. That's compared to 900,000 shares yesterday, 950,000 shares. I'm going to say that this thing's going to bounce just a little bit. You want to hold through the break?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be right back from Barb in Seattle. We'll be talking about Ubiquity Networks, one of my favorite companies, just because I use their stuff, and I think it's probably the best stuff out there. I don't know of any other company in that field that has it, but buying it right is more important than being a good company.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've always thought about trying out his newsletter, Market Insights. Well, now is the perfect time. For a limited time only, when you sign up for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights, we'll send you a free copy of Tom O'Brien's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. If you decide to cancel within the 2-week trial period, pay absolutely nothing and keep Tom's book as a free gift from us. Tom sends out his daily newsletter each morning by 9:30 a.m. with trade recommendations, including price targets and price stops. As recently as March 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out a position for more than a 25% profit in just over 2 weeks. To get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights, along with your free copy of The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Supplies are limited for this one-of-a-kind special, so act today and don't let this opportunity pass you by. Offer only valid for new subscribers.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Direction Shares. To learn more about tactical tools for the sophisticated active investor, hit the Direction Shares banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So we're talking with Barb from Seattle, right?
Yes.
My memory is getting shorter every day. I covered up the window, and I can remember a lot of things from a long time ago. But my memory seems to be fading here quickly. Ubiquity Networks. I just love the company because of the products. They were one of the better until the last few days. Better IPOs out here. They haven't been trading that long. $17.33 is. The last big major low out here. What you don't like is that high volume low. If that's going to hold, we need to see this thing bounce, come back into it for a few days, and get in here with something like 200,000 shares. I want to see the volume all dry up out here and get through all of this. And unfortunately, I think with all the turmoil, it may be something that you're going to have to sit on your hands for more than a couple of days. So this may take a week, may take 3 weeks to base out, but it needs to bounce up and down, get all that energy out, and confirm that you can get into this low. A lot of times we get these kind of selling climaxes like you had yesterday, but when they have volume, about 80% of the time they're going to get retested. Over the long term, about 90%. So, the odds are so astronomically against buying this one, even though I love the company. You might see this come back, go below it, close back above it was, say, 200, 300,000 shares, and then I'd want to start biting in that. But one of the better ones out here, I think they actually had earnings, and that's when it sold off, right?
Yeah, I think there was some type of a scandal with the CEO in connection with the mob. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. So
let me find out about that, because I didn't see that. I mean, the stock's actually holding up fairly good, if that's true. Let me see what the news is on this. Headlines. He calls that. Let me tell you what this is about. Thank you for bringing this up for me, because it's happened several times before. And that is, there are a lot of supposed stock analysts now, and especially in these small companies with small floats. It's happened in the companies that I've been into. One is called Copperfield Investments or something. These guys are operators, and what they do is they set up something that looks like a real company and come out with real analysts on it. And basically, it's all a pack of lies or half-truths. And basically what I'm reading on here is this is exactly what happened to this. What will happen is they'll get a big enough short position on it, and if it doesn't go down, to get out of it, they'll phony up some news and then put it out on a wire like it's a real company. The company itself is calling the accusations on the websites malicious and false, and apparently these websites don't go back to anybody in reality. So, I've seen a lot of these kind of stunts come through, and the problem is Mark Twain said it best. A lie will travel around the world twice before the truth can get out the front door. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking through some of all this stuff, and I would probably say if I haven't known this company for 6 or 7 years and see all their products and all their products are good, it would be different if it was a brand new product. They had no age on it. Of course, anybody at any company can do something bad, but I don't have time to do it all. But this is not a bad. When these things do happen, they're not a bad opportunity to go buying. So I can see maybe what you're looking at here. I don't, these websites came up with some lies about intellectual property, and the company stated, while we do not normally comment on rumors, we take our business reputations very seriously and strive to conduct all our activities in compliance with the law. Our worldwide intellectual property protection efforts demonstrate that we take our customers seriously. So basically everybody was saying they've been infringing. And my question is, why haven't they been sued in the last 10 years? Because I think they're actually maybe 10 or 12 years old, if I remember right. So they've been around a while, and they continue to make the best wireless access points. Like, let's say you're in a business, like in a warehouse, and you want all the little handheld readers to be able to connect wirelessly at your UPS facility. Well, you can drop one of these little things in for about $100, and they're great. They're actually just little routers that run a very small Unix operating system core, and they're like selling little $100 computers that their cost probably to make is about $10 or $15. Most of the expense is designing the things and working the software out. But I've had probably 2 or 3 of them, and I know a guy that's in this business, and it's all he uses. So that's one of the reasons I'm pretty high on this company. I just kind of kicked myself that I didn't go ahead and buy it on the IPO, but I'm not a big IPO buyer, and this one kind of slipped through on it. But pretty good. I would say that a lot of times you've just got to let this kind of rumor die out. But you're probably going to see one more retest lower in the marketplace. And be sure when you do that to give me a ring, and we'll find out. But I'd love to see 22, 29 close below it, or go below it, close back above it, and see something really like 250,000 shares.
Okay.
So I think I think you're hunting in the right place. I think you got big game here, and probably a big trade on this thing long term. But you need it to base out. You need it to prove itself.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we're going to get back to some other stuff. I've got just a little housekeeping here to do myself. Let me try to get this up. TFNN, that's me. And I need to actually, I hate to do this on the air, but I actually have to get this out if I could. Nope, I can't get it out. So if anybody has my newsletter, I'm not going to be able to get out my Twitter right at the moment, so make sure and check your email, which probably went out about 10 minutes ago. Anyway, we were talking about some of the other ones out here. We're going to just race through these with the last 20 minutes we have, because there's so many of them out here making nice signals. And again, anybody else out here can, if they want, can give me a call back. One of them I saw in my newsletter this morning that was very interesting. I'm not a big retailer of clothes fan, but boy, did this one look good. And it's been in the newsletter a couple of days out here that I've been showing this one. And that is, this is the pattern I'm seeing in the market, and this is the reason I'm bullish. I see so many of these patterns out here. Let me check to make sure we're doing pretty good. Going to have a nice close, I guess, or okay close. 1356 on the S&P, kind of in between, about like it was yesterday. But we've seen so many of these actually come back in to their gaps in what I've been showing. But you had a nice gap on and I think that's Ann Taylor's, actually. It used to be called Ann Taylor's, ANN. Nice little bounce up on the 9th of March. That happened on 4.1 million shares. Came into it yesterday, had a beautiful candle out here. In fact, if you're learning candles, this is a great one to see. Came back, pierced both of the gaps down below, a little higher volume, but then has had a nice reversal and moved back out of it here today, and actually went into it with lighter volume out here. So not a bad one on that. Some of these others in the gold stocks seem rather interesting also. They're kind of bouncing around these lows. Let me get just a smaller pattern out here so we can see it a little bit better. But certainly Anglo Gold, Asante, AU has been banging out at these lows. It's been trying to go below the April 10th low of $32.44. That had 4.8 million shares. You tried on April 23rd on 2.3 million shares. Kind of went through it on a little doji yesterday. Went down below it. It's going to close back above that low, it looks like today, on about half that volume still. So we're still at a fairly strong level of support out here. Don't know how many more times we can bang this bang lower each day and not kind of close higher out here, but certainly the energy on most of these that I'm looking at continues to be lower out here. Other things, Acuity brands. Acuity brands, again, you're going to see just about, probably all these are going to look rather familiar because they all have these kind of same patterns. That is breakouts, nice gap ups, trying to fill them, continuing on lighter volume. Acuity brands, AYI, actually came off and went a lot higher on the 9th of January on 1.46 million shares. Came back in on about half of that on April 10th to kind of fill a lot of that gap. Actually came down a few days earlier than that. Actually had some heavy volume. We're coming back into that original test of the April 10th low that had 780,000 shares with this low that we have today, or yesterday actually, with 370,000. If our caller from Spokane is still on the line, this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see that kind of even maybe a lower volume low, a bounce, and then once again, yet another little low. In fact, when you see about two of these together, you really need to put your spidey sense on and start looking at these stocks, because a lot of these are actually showing some fairly decent support levels out here. Broadcom, another one out here. Let's see how it actually did today. not as good as the others out here. But certainly we've been seeing this little gap that actually had some decent volume on the way up. 22 million shares that day, and that was the 19th of January. Comes back, tries to hit it on March 9th on 11 million shares. Comes back and hits it on April 24th on 9.5 million shares. Going to get into it with about 5.6 million shares today. Not probably going to close back above it, but this is why it's hard for me to get rabidly bearish as long as we continue to hit these previous support levels on lighter and lighter volume each time. Now maybe an asteroid hits the world or something tomorrow, but at the moment it's hard to get me too bearish out here in this marketplace until I see a ton of stocks, not just a handful of them, breaking down. Cadence Design System, CDNS, another one. Not as many tests. We got a little bit farther down in the gap this time, but huge gap up. And this is basically what I'm going through is the standard Wyckoff pattern for buying price and volume on retraces. That is, wait for the breakout, wait for it to come back, and wait for all of the volume to evaporate and all the interest. This started on the 2nd of February. You had a huge day, about 14 million shares. Popped up, came back, tried to test it on March 6th. 3 million shares, 3.6 million shares on April 23rd. It gets back down there. Last couple of days on, the pullback here, it's tried yet again. You've had 1.7 million shares, 2.4 million shares yesterday. You got 1.8 million shares today. If you get the market actually starting to move up tomorrow, and 80% of options expiration weeks from today into next Friday are a higher close a week from Friday. Doesn't mean that we won't have yet another scare in the morning and the market people out there go boo, but it continues to show a lot of stocks. In fact, I had about twice as many as I could put in the newsletter for this morning. So there are a lot of stocks out there. Just means that we've got awful good support, and it's going to take a lot to blow through to lower levels. Another one that's out here that's testing a previous low that's fairly interesting is Clearwire Corporation, CLWR. This thing's, of course, a little less expensive stock, and the original low is November 18th, $1.28, 19 million shares. Came down, and this is a good example for ubiquity. You had more shares, 28 million shares on April 25th, $1.27. So you did go below it on a penny, but you had higher volume. So what is it going to do? It's going to come back and get into it. And what do you like here? It comes back into it this time with 13 million shares. Yesterday, it is closing back above it. So you have, in Clearwire, you've got that kind of same pattern that you want to look at. Higher volume low, it's got to come back and get retested on a lighter volume. It is lighter also than that big low in November 18th. So might not be going up, but certainly a good sign going down. Good time to go look into that particular stock and maybe into that sector more than just that stock, and see whether or not we have similar things going on. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Again, have plenty of time to call. Market looks like it's going sideways here into the close. Still want to see 1365. I suspect in 1365 we're going to start seeing some short squeezes if we go that way. 1345, we're probably going to see a lot of sellers. Good time to be trading.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when temporary market spikes move against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the advantage of keeping your trades open even when the market temporarily spikes against you. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique short-term binary options that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's nadex.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on grows. If you're committed to becoming an extraordinary trader and investor, then make mastery your outcome. Yes, my best student, Steve Rhodes, became my best teacher. But even more important is what he's taught me, and the time is now for you to take advantage of his knowledge.
Thanks, Tom. I've learned that it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but what we do consistently. I want to teach you the consistency that exists in the stock, futures, forex, and commodity markets day in, day out. For one solid day, Friday, May 18th, I'm going to conduct an online master trader course that'll teach you how to buy and sell the D point. This one pattern alone, with the single best entry and exit techniques, when combined with my money management strategies, will create extraordinary rewards for you and your family. The course will be archived so you can review it as many times as you'd like, and it'll teach you to become a master. All the details are on the homepage at TFNN.com. Sign up today because mastery is one click away. It's your decisions, not your conditions, that determine your destiny.
Wow! Go get him, folks.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. Catch Tom O'Brien, founder and CEO of TFNN, professional trader and educator. Also a special guest on CNBC, analyzing the commodity markets. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And again, you can give us a call here at TFNN anytime you want at 877-927-6648. And just in a few minutes, we're going to have Tom O'Brien wrapping up the day. I'll be kind of interested in his call on gold and what he sees and how it's reacted since its appearance on CNBC on Monday. I think it's on the front of the webpage. You can probably go back and take a look at it, see what he had to say then. But got to be interesting. Wanted to get to Easy Chip. Came out with earnings last night. EZCH is the symbol. It had a great little pattern out here. Of course, I wouldn't have bought it going into earnings today, but certainly gave some fairly decent signals that these things can pop if they do have some decent earnings. Easy Chip makes chips for Ethernet connectivity. They especially make specialty chips for Cisco. And I think their little pop here probably tells you how good Cisco's business is. Specifically, they commented that they made a lot of specialty chips for what are known as edge devices. If you have a giant web service like Google, Yahoo, something like that, there's going to be some boxes that handle all your internet traffic that connect to your devices that then go out to the World Wide Web. But if you've got any kind of large enterprise, there's going to be these edge devices, really, really fast routers, let me put it that way. These chips are not as high a volume, but they certainly are massive in the way that they come back normally for margins. A lot of times it's not uncommon for these lower volume chips to have 500% margins or more on them. Easy Chip makes these kind of chips. I didn't see what kind of margins that they had on them, but certainly the market did like it. But it had a nice little signal out here, everything you wanted. April 24th low, 1.6 million shares. Came in with exactly half of that, with 700,000 shares. Went a penny below and then popped right back up. So good little signal. May not bought it, but certainly would have bought it if they didn't have earnings coming. Another one that I wanted to check in on here was Frontline. F-R-O, Fro. So, again, these are the kind of patterns we love seeing, and that is these long pullbacks on very light volume back to the original breakout point. On this one, Frontline, F-R-O, took off with 5 million shares on 3/15, so March 15th. Yeah, March 15th. It seems like this year is just speeding by. We actually come back in, and we've got about a million shares today, still closing a little lower than I would like. We've got, a little less than 1.2 yesterday. But compared to the 5 million this whole thing took off on, these are the patterns we want to be looking at every day. Tremendous signals of coming back and taking off with a huge volume and coming back on a light volume. This is exactly what you're looking at. Standard Wyckoff buy pattern out here. Of course, you need the market with you. My model pretty much says that 25% is the stock, 25% of your decisions probably the sector, and 50% of it's probably the market. So right now, you'd have to say that this is a pretty good-looking stock. Look back into this sector and check it out. I see Tom O'Brien raring to go out there in the bullpen. He'll be ready to go in about 6, 7, 8 minutes in here. And wrapping up the day, be very interested to hear his gold call, especially now that we have a couple of days to look at his CNBC appearance from Monday. You all have a good and safe evening.